Welcome to my room in Afghanistan. I'm still trying to decide if this is going to be just a video diary or a podcast, YouTube channel thing. Who knows? But yeah, the title I've been throwing around in my brain overnight is My Voice, Now What? I want to exercise my voice, and sometimes I'll sing, sometimes I'll read. I just figured it was something I could do because I always like to speak. I like to do public speaking. I like to sing. I like to perform. So, something to practice. So, I'm going to read an excerpt from the beginning of Stormfront, the first Dresden File book by Jim Butcher. It says, Harry Dresden, wizard. That's me, I confirmed. An actual wizard, he asked, grinning, as though I should let him in on the joke. Spells, potions, demons, and incantations, subtle and quick to anger. Not so subtle. I jerked the mail out of his hand and looked pointedly at his clipboard. Can I sign for my mail, please? The new mailman's grin vanished, replaced with a scowl. He passed over the clipboard to let me sign for the mail, another late notice from my landlord, and said, You're a nut. That's what you are. He took his clipboard back and said, You have a nice day, sir. I watched him go. Typical, I muttered, and shut the door. My name is Harry Blackstone Copperfield Dresden. Conjure by it at your own risk. I'm a wizard. I work out of an office in Midtown Chicago. As far as I know, I'm the only openly practicing professional wizard in the country. You can find me in the Yellow Pages under Wizards. Believe it or not, I'm the only one there. My ad looks like this. Harry Dresden, wizard. Lost items found. Paranormal investigations. Consulting. Advice. Reasonable rates. No love potions, endless purses, parties, or other entertainment. You'd be surprised how many people call just to ask if I'm serious. But then, if you'd seen the things I'd seen, if you knew half of what I knew, you'd wonder how anyone could not think I was serious. The end of the 20th century and the dawn of the new millennium have seen something of a renaissance in the public awareness of the paranormal. Psychics, haunts, vampires, you name it. People still don't take them seriously. But all the things science has promised us hadn't come to pass. Disease was still a problem. Starvation was still a problem. Violence and crime and war were still problems. In spite of the advance of technology, things just hadn't changed the way everyone had hoped and thought they would. Science, the largest religion of the 20th century, had become somewhat tarnished by images of exploding space shuttles, crack babies, and a generation of complacent Americans who had allowed the television to raise their children. People were looking for something. I think they just didn't know what. And even though they were once again starting to open their eyes to the world of magic and the arcane that had been with them all the while, they still thought I must be a joke. So, a little something to exercise. I love the Dresden Files books, and the interesting thing is this is a great opening because he talks about the battle between science and mythical, the magical, which then in subsequent books he, in a lot of ways, kind of clumps religion, God, into that same mythical, magical realm because, I mean, faith's a kind of magic. We believe in God. We believe in this almighty power to help us, to guide us, to get us through the rough times. And you could say that that's kind of a magic. We believe in something we can't see, we don't understand, and it works. Or it doesn't, depending upon all kinds of things. That's a whole nother conversation that maybe I'll have another time. But yeah, just trying something out, experimenting here. I love to I love to read. I got all kinds of books I love to read. But also, the other thing I thought I might do is I watch TV shows. I watch all kinds of stuff. So I thought maybe I'd talk about what I watched and the impact it would have. See, a lot of people watch TV, watch movies, and they just watch it. It's entertainment. And one of two things happens. Either it has an impact on them and it changes the way they think or the way they act, or it doesn't. They just find entertainment in it. Well, I like to think about how these things impact me, because I feel like everything that I ingest visually, through books, through my ears, musically, has an impact on me. It's going to affect me one way or the other. And that's the now what. That's an old term I took from a mentor of mine. We do things, that's the what. We talk about what happened, that's the so what, and what we learned from it. And then the now what is, what are we going to do with that? So anyways, let me get to the point before I start running out of time here. The thing I want to talk about is the most recent episode of Burn Notice that I watched. And I'm recording this on my iPad, otherwise I would look it up and tell you what its title was. It's, I think, the 7th episode in the 8th season, where Michael Weston is being interrogated. He's trying to get into an organization and he's being interrogated. And the thing that I took out of this was the introspection that he went through, because he's fighting against drugs and he's fighting against fatigue, and they're doing all of these interrogation techniques to break him down so that he's completely honest with them, and it drives him into his mind in a lot of ways, and into the things that made him who he is, and makes him react to things the way he does, and it makes you kind of think about what made me, what are the experiences that I've been through. He went through a traumatic experience in his youth that made him hard, that made him able to conceal things from other people so that he was good at what he does. Obviously, that exact experience is not my experience. I'm not that super spy guy that Michael Weston is, but I went through experiences in my youth and in my adolescence and in my college years that sort of defined who I am, and I feel like those experiences have made me want to be a performer, want to present things for other people. It's also kind of made me a little self-conscious, because I am very concerned about what people perceive out of that, whether they like my music, like my performance, like my guitar playing, or not. And I think everyone has that on a level, but yeah, that's some of the defining features of my life. But it also, I realized through those years that I like to serve. I think that's part of why I'm in the military. But I also think I've, through my time in the military, learned that I prefer to serve in capacities where I give something to people that brings them joy. I like the performance aspect of things. My time in the Soldier Show really showed me that I love putting on that show to make other people happy. So, yeah, I continue to chase that dream, and we'll see what happens in the future in my military service. And I'll keep looking for those other jobs outside of military service that I can perform, that I can put things out there. Voice acting is a random idea that I've been thinking about, but yeah, there's all sorts of venues that I would love to kind of see if I can get into. So that's why I'm doing this. Reading, speaking, maybe some music down the road, just some different ways to kind of catalog what I've done and what I can do and hope to be able to do in the future. So, now what? Take these thoughts and see what it means to you, and look at the world around you and figure out now what?